अपना इंडिया, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, पढ़ाई हो जो करनी, जरा भी ना घबराना, गोल्डन बुक्स को अपनाना। अपना इंडिया, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना। कक्षा विषय कोई हो, आसान समझ पाना, गोल्डन ही तो है सफलता का पैमाना। गोल्डन ही ला रहा है चेहरे पे मुस्कुराना, मैं गोल्डन का दीवाना। अपना इंडिया, बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना, गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना।
Golden presents the best-selling reference books for English core for classes 11th and 12th. Main features of Golden books are: all the books are based on latest NCERT textbooks and are as per the latest syllabus of CBSE. Important points have been given for each chapter for quick revision. Solution of all the NCERT textual exercises are given. Other important questions for practice and examinations are also given in a very simple language. Objective type question bank is given, which include MCQs with answers. The Golden books suit all the pockets and are a boon for the weak, mediocre and intelligent students alike. Buy Golden books for your golden future.
A very good afternoon to all the people present here. This is Sumati Mishra, the coordinator for today's webinar on behalf of New Age International Publishers. On this beautiful Saturday evening, on behalf of New Age International Publishers, I welcome all the teachers participating in this webinar on the latest curriculum issued by CBSE for the academic year 2023-24 for the subject English core and of course for grade 11 and 12. It gives me immense pleasure to inform you that the webinar is being attended by teachers not only from Delhi but across the country, all over India. And this webinar is organized by Golden Books, published by New Age International Publisher. Now, I take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Soumya Gupta. He is the Managing Director of New Age International and is looking after the publishing house for the last 20 years. He holds a degree in BE, that is Chemical Engineering, and MS in Publishing from New York University. Under his able guidance and entrepreneurship, New Age continues to achieve new heights every day. His vision is to publish best quality books for students that are not only tool for literacy, but a medium of education that inspires them to be all-rounded human beings. Now, I request Soumya sir to kindly join us and say a few words. Soumya sir, over to you, please.
Good afternoon to everyone. I welcome all the distinguished participants to this webinar on the latest curriculum issued by CBSE for the current academic session English core for classes 11th and 12th. I especially welcome Mrs. Rukmini Rai, who will be conducting this webinar along with the panelists who will play an important role during the course of time. New Age International Publishers Golden books are totally based on NCERT textbooks and are one of the best-selling reference books not only in India but also in the Middle East countries. Golden books are liked by teachers, students, and their parents alike. As you all know, CBSE keeps on changing curriculum almost every year. So Golden is almost always the first ones to update the books as per the latest curriculum well in time so that teachers and students do not face any difficulty. For this, We have marketing offices situated all over India in major cities. Our publication house also publishes all major books in schools in all the subjects for all the classes. In Golden all-in-one books from classes 1 to 5th, we have given summary of each chapter along with meanings of difficult words and all the textual exercises of Marigold which are fully solved. Golden English workbooks are also there for classes 1 to 5, which are based on NCERT textbooks Marigold, which are also fully solved. And these workbooks have become the first choice of teachers and students. We do also publish Golden workbooks for classes 6 to 10th. These workbooks are also based on NCERT textbooks and they have been acclaimed by all. New Age is one of the first leading publishers, an Indian publisher, to publish class-wise dictionaries for classes 1 to 8. These dictionaries are published in collaboration with Webster's. The words in the dictionaries have been chosen keeping in mind the intellectual capacity of learners at each grade, and meanings have been supplemented with sample sentences and suitable color pictures to enhance their learning. Grammar with Fun for classes 1 to 8 is a complete book of English grammar and composition. These books help the students to clear their doubts in grammar. Dear participants, we will be issuing participation e-certificates to you for attending the webinar. To get the certificates, kindly fill and submit the feedback form which you will receive in the WhatsApp group. You are also requested to email any specimen inquiries for Golden English Core for classes 11th and 12th at specimen@newagepublishers.com. I hope this webinar will enlighten all of us with latest curriculum and development in CBSE English Core for classes 11th and 12th and will enrich you in your teaching endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now, to start the discussion, let me introduce you to the panelists for the webinar. All our panelists are very well experienced and have been nurturing students for many, many years. Let me now give you the brief introduction about our panelists. So we have Miss Anjana Shrivastava, PGT English, Mayo International School, Delhi. We also have Miss Iksha Khurana, Shadley Public School, Rajouri Garden, Delhi, and Miss Reena Chaudhary, PGT English, DPS, Ghaziabad. A very warm welcome to all the panelists. Now, let me introduce our main speaker of the day today, Mrs. Rukmini Rai, who is going to be conducting the webinar. Mrs. Rai is a highly educated and a qualified teacher. She is presently working as PGT at Kothari International School, Noida. She has shouldered the responsibility of head examiner for grade 10 English, CBSE Board, and she has been influencing learners for the last 25 years. She is a very popular and a very well-known teacher among her students. She is known for her wit and humor while teaching English. I think that's one of the basic funda, and I think one of the basic, most important strategies which can help children to learn effectively. Together with her qualification as a postgraduate in English, she has also done her post-graduation in journalism and has a vast experience. Today, we have invited her to highlight the changes in the CBSE syllabus and share her views on the books published by us, that is New Age International, in accordance with the latest CBSE syllabus in the subject of English. I hope the webinar will really enlighten all of us, and we will have a lot of things to take away after the webinar. So, and this webinar is going to help you in your further endeavor. You are all welcome to clear your doubts. Once the webinar session is over, you can ask your questions in the question answer sessions. Now I request Ms. Rukmini Rai to kindly join and enrich us regarding the subject. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar, everyone. Before I begin my webinar, I would like to thank Soumya ji, for putting so much trust in me. And I hope I come up to your expectations as you have reposed in me. I would also like to take this occasion to thank Mahesh ji for believing in what he has been told by Sanjeev sir. And I'm really humbled by the attention I'm receiving. I would like to share my screen. Can the technician give me that? As it has been mentioned by Sumati ma'am, that I'm here today to conduct a webinar on the topic Decoding CBSE Curriculum, English Core. And I'm going to highlight the important points about the golden books which are published by New Age International Publishers and how they complement in helping us prepare children for CBSE and for life. I would like to start with a quotation that teaching is more than imparting knowledge. It is inspiring change. Learning is more than absorbing facts. It's acquiring understanding. I have highlighted the two words, change and understanding. We may use many big words like techniques, strategies, curriculum. End of the day, I feel that as a language teacher, we are so lucky to sensitize children and bring about the change that tomorrow we can hope for a better society. Now, CBSE has taken upon itself a challenge that it is not being viewed as the best curriculum. When it is competing with Cambridge, it is competing with ICSE Board, it is competing with Baccalaureate. So we all need to gear up for the change ourselves first as educators, and then only we can proceed with the change that we want among our learners. Well, the 4 skills to be honed in learning English, whether it is class 1 or class 12, remains the same. It is listening, reading, speaking, writing, but with a difference. We are seeing emerging technologies. And when I say emerging, the word means that it is being introduced in a big way where the schools are keeping up with the modern systems. We have virtual world, we have the artificial intelligence, we have augmented learning, and the ambition of our children are very different from what we had. We wanted to study, we wanted to explore the limited facts that was available to us. And now children have a view of multinational, and we have to keep pace with their learning. There is a paradigm shift, and we all need to gear up for our requirement. English is no longer picking up a book and entering a class and finishing off a lesson. We have to develop certain learnings in them because the whole curriculum has shifted to competence. We have to develop in them competences. And as we may say that in order to influence our children, they need to learn critical thinking, problem solving, and managing the humongous amount of facts that is available to them. We have to prepare them for tomorrow. We have to prepare them for CBSE exam. That is, I would say, a short-term goal. We, in fact, have to prepare them for life. I remember one anecdote from my experience. It was a class 8 topper. And incidentally, he was standing close to me. And I asked him, would you just buy me a pen from the storeroom and get it over? And this topper, who had been doing brilliantly academically and good at many art and music, turned around to say, ma'am, I've never handled money. So is our education, asking for more, I felt like a loser then. I had a proper word and I saw to it that he made all purchases, at least on school campus, and influence parents thereon. So we want our children to be in hands-on experience of whatever they are learning. When we talk about critical thinking, it refreshes my mind about my post-graduation that when we were asked to critically analyze a chapter, critically analyze our poems, and don't you remember, we all wrote a critical appreciation of the poems we learned. So children are not to be given all the time, read and understand and finish it off. We have to use the textbook as a tool. I should have questions ready before going to the class and asking my children to find out those answers for themselves. Let us not waste time on reading. Let us give them purposeful reading. You write the characters on the board and you ask them to find out all the characteristics on reading this chapter. I think children will have a fun time because their involvement is at large. Everyone is involved. We need to reflect and handle tasks independently so that they can make decisions. Now, the other day I was teaching Indigo and there was a statement. Gandhi ji was mistaken to be an untouchable. How was it found out that he wasn't? So I left the question open to my class, and staying in a modern society, a few children came up that people wear sacred thread, and that's how it was reflected. It might be a very small understanding, but these are the causes that we as teachers have to give and allow the child to reflect. Critically evaluate ideas, what the story is all about, what he feels could have been a better ending. You will be surprised that the sample question paper has asked the students to analyze 4 different women from the book. They want Going Places, Aunt Jennifer's Tiger, Lost Spring. The women are there also, very traditional and orthodox. They have been asked to analyze the women and how they are different from each other in just one answer. We have never done like that earlier. Maybe in junior classes and middle school, we would ask them to compare 2 characters. But now it is asking an analysis of the entire book. So we need to prepare them for it. And they are coming across with words like theme, plot, kind of writing, autobiography or travelogue or biography. The child has to be equipped with these vocabulary to understand. And it is no more recognizing of a particular word in its poetic device. Two poetic devices phrases are given, and the child is asked that, how do you find, what is the common poetic device in these? So he has to be made autonomous. Problem solving. We are not free from problems. We have social issues. And when we are talking about social issues, a child who is in his teenage is revolutionary. He wants to bring a change, whether it is in the school or in the society or in the country. And there are so many thoughts that is bubbling in him. And here is the opportunity of writing letters to the editor, article. All those thoughts have to be put down. Children have to be abreast with current affairs. They cannot be When I'm teaching article, I picked up an article based on the killing of an Afro-French person and in France, and how the difficulty had emerged. Everyone was questioning the government for inappropriate behavior and discrimination. They were put to task, but that is the kind of material you should bring it to class so that they are connected with the current affairs and there is a beating heart. The child wants to hear that. If it is cricket, bring in cricket, discuss about the performances of the different cricketers. They will be more attentive. It is basically that we need to improve the generation that is being prepared by us. Learning process. The child has so much, unlike us, they have so much store of values, so much store of facts, and we need to sensitize them at this moment, because as language teachers, we are also building good personalities. And here, when I was teaching on the face of it, I showed them a TED talk and I personalized it. I said, my legs are not strong, but I learned something from the TED talk today. Let's see what you have learned. On sharing, we agreed that what are the abilities that we have is what we need to focus on than talking about things we can't do. So let us strategize, let them study collaboratively, give them opportunity to document articles from the newspaper, reports from the newspaper, let them document it so that it is two-way beneficial, that the child will be well informed and the vocabulary will shoot up, because newspaper is a very good medium and tool for learning. They need to organize the facts that they have read into forms of writing, which they are prescribed. And here I would like to mention that if you see the sample question paper, it has diary entry. It also has informal writing. The last test that we had in school, we introduced dialogue writing as well, imaginary dialogue writing among characters of enemy. And who were the characters? Less known in the story. It was Yumi, gardener, and the cook. And you know what a question was asked during the exam? One child said, ma'am, can I write the dialogues 40 years later as a reflection? A valid suggestion. And I just nodded my head. Anything that is reflecting the chapter is allowed. You cannot have a personal conversation. It has to be something to do with literature. So look at the extent that a child's mind is running, and we have to keep up with that pace. I earlier hadn't put sample question paper in today's webinar, but I realized that a lot of material is available online, but it's very boring to go through it all by yourself. So it would be wonderful to walk you through the question paper so that you make an understanding. The whole effort is that our children are young, they are impressionable, they are gullible, and we are to influence their minds in the best form that we can. Now, going through the question, we have messaging, so you can give your answers in the message box. The very first comprehension is not about Ram and Sita or Mahesh, Ganesh. No, it is beyond our times. It's about computer. It's about extraterrestrial being, and the questions follow. Even if we do not solve it right away, but I want to bring your attention to the kind of exercise they have given. The very first one says, select the option that classifies. Classification, it is asking. You cannot just say one word. There will be something that is contradicting. And you will see that the answer goes from drastic events such as the destruction of his home planet and the introduction of new technologies correctly. So here, the answer is adventure and excitement. Whereas it also talks about boredom. It also talks about change, right? So they are very contradictory. For this, the child has to be sharpened. He has to be sculpted to understand these words. It's not easy. And the training, comprehension is one part that we are often missing out on. I would request, once I come to the textbooks, I'll give you ideas, that we need to give at least one comprehension a week. Children miss out on comprehension. Then see the next question. What is the significance? It's not asking what is the name of the lab mouse. Earlier, the comprehension pattern was who, when, and all you had to do was read and write the answer. Easy, easier than today's kind of comprehension. It is asking significance, it is asking classification, it is asking, is the entire write-up descriptive or humorous? Explain. So the child has to write for 2 marks. He has to explain how an unseen passage is descriptive or humorous. Right then, without you, without me, the child has to independently be able to decide. So I see that the need for sharing with them unseen passages is huge. We need to do that because children are children. We say it when we are dealing with a humorous passage, but we also use the word description, but we never test them. So we need to test them through comprehensions. Now look at this one, question number 5. Pretty neat, hey? Right? Pretty neat is same as what? Easy, isn't it? Could be worse, no. Impressive, yes. Too difficult for you. And all the MCQ options are so similar that it bogged me too. There is a hesitation, even as an adult, to make a choice. I might be wrong. Well, because it's a webinar and we have to move on, so I would say C is the best answer. Impressive, yes. And I see a responsibility that as educators, we all need to download the sample question paper from online. The marking scheme is also given. And at least comprehension and writing skills, that portion of syllabus has been covered in schools. We need to give it to our students so that they are alerted of the kind of learning they have to be focused upon. See, now in question number 6, again, it's asking in 40 words. And just a little comparison. A chapter that you have taught for 2 weeks amounts to 3 marks. And here's something that the child hasn't read amounts to 2. Again and again. The first one was descriptive and humorous. Question number 6, explain in about 40 words why the name the paranoid android is considered ironic. So first, the child needs to know the understanding of the word paranoid. And then, why ironic? What is an irony? Why is it an ironic? How is it contrasted? So it needs, I would say, I wouldn't use the word difficult. I would say that CBSE has raised the bar. And the demand is not only on students, the demand on us as teachers is also a lot. And we need to prepare ourselves for it. We come to the second one, and this has started already a couple of years back, analytical understanding. And this is possible if we start taking some newspaper material, because there is analysis. They get it as a writing skill in class 10th itself, and they have to write paragraph on analytical graph is given or a Venn diagram is given, and the child is taught. I would say, besides numbers, as a language teacher, I have to increase and enhance it in my child, my learners, that what is increasing, what is a slump, what is deteriorating, the words that what is happening in the market, an easier understanding. And hopefully this one children are able to do if they have a mathematical mind, are able to calculate, and they are able to do. Now, they are giving surveys. Look at this. Trying new cuisines, hiring a tour guide, purchasing the local artifacts, advanced booking, travel tickets. So in this way, we have discussed comprehension. Now we come to creative writing skills. And if I may read the very first one, it is a notice. The topic is, but Bali High Public School has recently created Cure Green, a dedicated area for local medicinal herbs and shrubs adjacent to the flower garden on campus. As Rachel Tiwari, captain of the Eco Club, drafted a notice for the school notice board informing students of classes 11-12 about a guided walk through Cure Green post-assembly on Friday, 10 July, invite caregiver applications for Cure Green. It gets complicated. It gets complicated because when we are teaching notice, we just talk about an event that is going to take place. And when we say who, what, when, venue, and a little information. With such a long question, they are going to get lost in the maze of words. The child has to understand that invite caregiver applications. So caregiver applications is the applicant whom we have to address and ask them, right? Among children. We already know notice has been given two questions, and the child has an option. Then we come to invitation. Children always want to study few of the writing skills. Please do not encourage them to do that. Let them be prepared for all, because if they are comfortable with invitation, see, here also there is an option, but invitation you cannot do away with. You cannot choose. Then here we have a poster which has to be converted into an article. Then letter to the editor is about fines and penalties, examining the reasons for such behavior. What is this? Describe being Despite being an essential component of road safety infrastructure, many people do not respect zebra crossings and fail to follow traffic rules, which results in hazardous situations on the roads. Write a letter to the editor of a national daily, sharing your concern and examining the reasons for such behavior. Provide suggestions for spreading awareness of rules and etiquettes involved. See, this is not only an opportunity to educate our children for traffic rules, but sensitizing them that it is always important by the elders also to follow the rules. So please take out some time that we influence their lives too and make a better world to live in. Coming to literature, this is a more familiar area, and I think you will realize how close the MCQs are. This is the part which we all know. We know the story, we know the poem, A Thing of Beauty, and we enjoy it every time we get to teach it. It's a beautiful, remarkable poem. And here, look at the question it is asking. It is an extract, and then they ask, which of the following themes is best represented in the given extract? A beauty of nature, a power of imagination, the immortality of art and literature, the inevitability of death. It would be fun if you would write the answer in the message box. What do you think should be the answer? You see, for you and me we have done post-graduation, we have learned Grecian urn. So we know that Yeats always talks about immortality of art and literature. But do we teach this expression to children while teaching A Thing of Beauty? We dwell on nature. We dwell on the mighty dead when we talk about Mother Teresa or Gandhiji, how their tales, every time it inspires us. We never teach them the immortality of art and literature, because this poem has in no way touching upon art and literature. But that's the answer. That's the correct answer. It was like googlies for me that, oh my God, are we supposed to teach from post-graduation level or just a little finer teaching? Now, look at the second question. State whether the given statement is true or false with reference to the extract. By referring to the dead as mighty, the poet emphasizes the importance and the power they exerted on the people. Now, exerted is not a positive word, right? You influence people, then it's a positive word. So the child should have a red bulb that no, it is not the power, it is their goodness which touched upon the larger section of the society. So that has to be kept in mind. Let's come to the third question. The endless fountain of immortal drink is an apt analogy for the tales of the mighty dead, because this is a straightforward question. So our children will be able to write. The last one is little covered by the advertisement, but it talks about what is the meaning of drink. So lexicons and semantics is a very important aspect while teaching. When there are phrases, when there is an opportunity, every chapter has to have a lesson plan. And we should have some ready-made questions to guide them, to channelize their thought process towards the kind of sample question paper that has been shared with us by NCERT. Now we come to yet another poem, Mother at 66. Mother at 66, we all know the poem, so we needn't read the passage. What is the speaker's emotional state when looking at her mother? Confused and disoriented, nostalgic and longing, empathetic and understanding, fearful and apprehensive. You can't take it right away. because C and B are so close to each other. She had apprehension. So that word settles the answer, fearful and apprehensive. Look at the next question. What does the use of the word but at the beginning of the line, but all I said? What does the word but tell you? And that means but as an interjection, as a conjunction. While teaching conjunctions in primary school, we highlight that but means absolutely opposite. But look at the importance of but. It fetches you 1 mark, and the child has to be alert about it. We will never mention that to him, that there is a contradiction. We just say that she hides her innermost feelings. Now, look at question number 3. Select the word that will not complete the sentence appropriately. The description of the mother as wan pale as a late winter's moon creates a vivid image of, if I say honestly, when we talk about this simile, we talk about her life closing. She is in the evening of her life, and we say it's a simile. And then we put a full stop. I'm being very honest. And here it is saying, it is talking about sensitivity, a word which I would have never used in my class. Sensitive, I would not have used. I would just say she's talking about her physical condition of her mother. And first she says, she compares it with ashen, like corpse. She's almost dying and she's very old. And then another simile has been given to reinforce that idea, right? So the child would rather go for mortality or frailty, but the answer is sensitivity. I would request all my colleagues, you must download the sample question paper, and if you have already done, thumbs up, that you must solve it for 3 hours yourself first. Then you will get into the mood of teaching the class. Anjana is smiling there. She understands what I mean. Yeah, and so on and so forth. Now I want to show you that question where they want to compare. Just give me a minute. Yeah, all the 3 questions which I wanted to highlight in this webinar is, the first one, which I talked about earlier, the different portrayals of women in the text, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, Going Places, Lost Spring, and My Mother at 66, offer insights into the experiences of women in society. You have been asked to address your peers and share the way these portrayals highlight the diversity of the female experience. Now, it is a comparative study. The importance of understanding each individual woman's challenges and experiences. Instead of giving it separate questions for each one, they have combined 4 chapters. Please highlight this in class. Children do partial learning. They do away with few chapters that they don't want, like it, and look at it. There is a comparison, analysis. They have to give an insight of the experiences of women in society. And the best part is that they have given how to begin. So here is a speech, which is not in the writing skill of class 12. So 11th material is now coming back to 12th. A speech has been written here. A diary entry has been given in question 13A. You can see for yourself that Louisa, Charlie's wife, writes a diary entry. Then here in question number 13B, the last question of the question paper, Zitkala writes about her thoughts and conclude by absolving herself of any blame. she had acted weirdly to resist. And it has to be written when she's a grown-up person that how she should have taken a stand and free of any guilt that I didn't do anything wrong. It's my hair and it's my space. So now we move on. That is the end of the sample question paper. We are now moving to some syllabus and the changes. Since today the webinar is dwelling on 11th and 12th, I have just taken those pages from the Golden Book so that you know exactly from here on, I will be introducing you the Golden Book, and they have remarkably included all the changes that have been made. So we have this. This is Hornbill, the old NCRT. Last session, we also had the Landscape of the Soul and the Browning version, which have been removed, and our syllabus is lesser. But then we have more time, not to finish and send them for PE, but we have more time to educate them by what the NCRT is wishing to do. The question paper design is more or less the same. The reading skills have 26 marks, grammar, and all these sheets are from Golden Book. So you will find them once you have a copy of your own. Grammar and creative writing skills, 23. Then we have literature textbooks and supplementary reading text, 31. We do not have portfolio in class 11th, but we do have ASL, and we have to take it practically, what is conducive to your school decorum. Gone are the times when CBSE was asking us to burn it on CDs and submit it. We are not supposed to do that. This sheet is again from the help book, reference book, and clearly it is written. I realized that every year there is a change in syllabus, and I find it so difficult to remember. So just the other week, I dictated all the chapters to the children that it is ready with them in their notebooks. I was excited to teach Landscape of the Soul because I have an artistic bent of mind. And children said, no, ma'am, it's not there. Yes, I did read the syllabus, but it is difficult to remember. We are all growing old by the day. So the Landscape of the Soul has been removed. The Browning version has been removed. Ranga's Marriage has been removed. Albert Einstein at School has been removed. The Ghat of the Only World has been removed. So in one place, I have the syllabus here. If you are not very free with internet, you can take a screenshot and keep the syllabus with you. This is for snapshot. This is the syllabus, the current syllabus for 2023-24. Yes, ASL is listening and speaking. And then I have for my, CBSE doesn't talk about it as term 1, term 2. For my convenience, I have written term 1, term 2. When I say term 1, it means half yearly. For half yearly, we will have ASL. And for final exam of class 11, we will have ALS, a preparation, just like they will have in class 12. And let it not be overnight project. Do it in 3 steps. First, tell them how the whole, they have to give self-introduction, the content and the index page, then statement of purpose, certificate, acknowledgement, action plan, questionnaire, analysis, summary in 1,000 words, very important, and bibliography. So that requires a completely one more workshop, which I would request Soumyaji that he can bring us all together and we can discuss points for the ALS project. Now we come to class 12. Class 12, the changes are that reading skill, we have now 22 marks. Creative writing skill alone, that is 18. and literature textbook and supplementary reading 40 marks. Let us not make our children feel that there is no grammar. I always encourage my children by saying, when your answers are grammatically correct, then you get better marks. It's not enough just to give your value points. You need to frame your sentences. When it is narration, it should be in indirect speech. And that, again, we can use the literature portion to discuss and imbibe in them the habit of indirect speech. When they are writing, report writing, article writing, they need to exercise passives. How active is transformed into passives while writing them. So let us not tell them that it is over for them. He said you can't get definite marks. It has to be framed in proper grammatical way. So then we come to the chapters which have been removed. The poem, The Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and we have removed Sound, Should Wizard Hit Mommy, and Evans Tries and O-Level. Oh, I love that chapter. I was sad when I learned about it. Very interesting. So once again, you can have a screenshot because here they are put all together. Stars, we have all these. The syllabus is extensive because class 11th has fewer chapters, but class 12 has been maintained with good number of chapters. So we have more responsibility with class 12. Again, they have ASL in the first term, that is half yearly, which will remain internal. And the second one is ALS, where they will have a project just like class 11. Now, why golden books? We have all gathered here to understand that new age publications through their golden books have tried to reach out to learners, young learners, right from class 1 to class 12. And they are alert, their team is always working to complement what the requirement of a growing child is. So they have worked extensively, and I would say extensively, because while making the PPT, the number of pages I had to put in, I realized that one chapter has some 20 pages. Everything is dealt with. Theme, message, plots, questions, short and long, MCQs, description, and word meaning. That is very helpful for children who are working on their own. So let us now explore the world of golden books. Comprehension. Now we come with reading skills. They have both kinds of comprehensions, descriptive, textual, and also analytical. I have kept few of each, 2 passages of textual, descriptive, and then we come to the second, factual and analytical, as I call it. I've kept 2 exercises here, very clear diagrams and reasoning so that the child is prepared for CBSE. As I have just been talking about it, that is the requirement of the day. I have kept 2 passages. I want to bring your attention to the clarity of the graphs and the fact that all questions are complemented with the answers. A learner can learn on his own, a guardian can guide them, and it can be also prescribed in schools where the teacher can make it a weekly agenda of doing some exercises from here. Or as I was saying, that you can have some photocopies and it can be good teaching material for your class. Then we come to writing skills. Writing skills are of 2 kinds. One is the short composition They are short because they hold 3 marks. Now, children are quite disgruntled. And why 3 marks after doing such a huge poster or notice or invitation? They feel that it's too less. Make them understand it's not the marks. Marks is just a representation between 100%. It is the ability to be. I remember while doing journalism, I had one subject, just advertisements. And it's very interesting. You never know who is going to join in the ad world. So going through its papers, they have mentioned notices. They have written all the headings, all the reasons how to go about it. A variety of questions are given. Exercise, solved exercise, and exercise for practice. So on one hand, the child practices, and for you as an educator, for me as an educator, we can use this as for questions, question papers, making of the question. As I said, variety, they were separate, and now your picnics, exhibition, tours, and again, a practice range. Then it comes with invitation. It gives formal invitations, informal invitations, and in detail, solved and exercise for practice, unsolved ones. Given very clearly. Now I come to long composition. You may wonder why Golden has put business letters and official letters. We have shifted this portion to class 10th. But because it is playing in and out all the time, we have maintained it in the book. That is not a bother. We have the third one, letters to the editor and letters of application. Now, all these children who come to class 11th, their competencies are already profound, but we have to help them with higher order thinking. They already speak English, they already express, they can already read. A few might be a scale or two lower or higher. But we have to help them that they are set for CBSE. Business letters are not required by class 12th or 11th. Letters to the editor. Then we have all kinds, environment, pollution. Then here we have about educational counselors for guidance. Then here we have expressing our concern over the problem faced by the commuters and giving suitable suggestions, a very valid current topic. Then complaints. Letter of complaint is not there, but you can complain to the Noida authority about the sanitation of a place, about noise pollution. So these are the letters, and for practice. Application for it. I always like telling my children that we are preparing you for life, and you are being taught first and foremost to apply for a job by your language teacher. Now, how lucky can that be? So they learn how to go about it, how the 10 points have to be kept in mind, and the children love doing application for a job. But once again, it's longer than the kind of marks it holds. That is just 5 marks. Earlier, application for a job was for 10 marks. But ask them not to be disturbed about the marking scheme. That's absolutely an area that you and I cannot influence CBSE other than when they ask us to. Now we come to the literature section. Rat trap. Metaphorically, rat trap is an intelligent prose, and I enjoy it thoroughly. Every time I teach, I enjoy, and I remind myself that, like the rat trap seller, I should not be following a bait. So you will see what exhaustive work we have done as a team to bring forth to students and learners. The summary is given, the Hindi version is also given. So if there is someone coming from a non-English speaking background, which many of us are from, then you can just read the Hindi version to understand the description. It will make the child very independent. Every single difficult word, difficult and less difficult, all words are described in English and Hindi for learners, which is exhaustive. 2, 3, 4, 5. The main points are given, and we are always, the child should know in the order of events that what happened first, what happened second, what happened third. Like while teaching this chapter, when children are writing about the crofter, they're often confused with the ironsmith. So you have to underline and make it clear. Reference to context is there. MCQs are there. Answers are also given so that if in doubt, you can go back. And this is just one chapter going on. We have matched the following. Important and very important is written so that the child studies nicely. Message is given, long type answers are given. Exhaustive work, I must appreciate. Now we come to the poem, Keeping Quiet. That has been also dealt, the way the literature prose has been dealt with. Main points are given. Question answers, MCQs. Yes, so that's about it. They're short questions. And I would like to end my monologue. I've just been going on and on as if I'm the best teacher in the world. No, I'm not. I'm just one of you. I have my meltdowns and I have my panic attacks, and sometimes the classes are very good. And that day I have a wonderful sleep. Now, the whole art of teaching is only the art of awakening the natural curiosity of young minds for the purpose of satisfying it afterwards. I think so. We need to develop our children into seekers. I thank my teachers who taught me, because at this age, I'm nearing 60, and I'm always ready for a challenge. I want to do something new. So thank you. I'm humbled by the attention, and this kind of audience you never get in school, when everyone is quiet and the teacher just rattles. So thank you. Over to Sumati, and thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You really guided us regarding the latest curriculum and beautifully explained all the details about the new pattern, the latest pattern issued by CBSE for class 11 and 12, English core. I'm sure all of us have really learned a lot. It was a brilliant presentation and it was wonderful to hear you. And we have almost arrived to the end of the session. But before that, I want to wholeheartedly thank Soumya ji and all our panelists. Most importantly, our distinguished teachers who really spared their valuable time and participated in the webinar and made it a great success. I would also like to thank all the new age webinar team members for their teamwork, for their brilliant hard work, and making the webinar a wonderful success. Dear participants, before we end, I want to tell you here that you would get your specimen copies of Golden English books. I request all of you to kindly email your details at thespecimen@newagepublishers.com. We shall also be issuing e-certificates to all the participants of this webinar. You will also receive a feedback form on the WhatsApp group. So please do fill and submit the feedback form. Then you can receive the certificate after submission. And I want to make a humble request over here that in case you are not getting your certificate or the specimen copies, please do not post messages on the WhatsApp group. If you have any concerns or any query, any issue, you can email the query or a concern at the given email ID, which is feedback@newagepublishers.com. Anyone has any query, we can always take the questions. Their participants, the teachers, anybody, please come forward. If you have anything to ask, Rukmini ma'am, our expert, is still here. She is all set to give answers to all our teachers who have any doubt or anything regarding English. Is that okay, Rukmini ma'am? Let's have some questions.
Yes, I'm waiting for that.
I think it was such a detailed explanation that seems people don't have anything to ask. I believe in between also there were questions which were taken, right, Rukmini ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, one teacher asked that how can students get good marks in English exam?
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
Rukmini ma'am.
So, ma'am, marks is something of consequence. It should not be the path to achieve marks alone. Let it be a consequence of good understanding of the chapter. You do your role, 50% you do and 50% children will do.
Also,
Right?
there is a question I can see. Can we discuss a bit details on ASL?
Yes, I can
Which
do
I can
that.
see in the chat box.
I can do that. There are two aspects. In the first term, that is half yearly, we have ASL, where we have shortened the path. In proper decorum, it is a pair, children are paired up, and they all wait in a separate room. One pair comes and they introduce themselves and share, they say good morning, and then they are numbered A1, A2, right? And an ice-breaking question is asked by the teacher. All this is given online. Ice-breaking question is asked, like, where do you stay? So that the child gets comfortable with us answering that. Then we give them a chosen topic. We give them, would you like to speak something about environment? So the child speaks for a minute. Then I look towards the partner and I ask him, would you like to ask a question? So on the spot, the child frames a question and asks, and the exercise is repeated. Then the third level is where you give a situation. Again, this is given online. You type ASL, CBSE, you will get all material. Then you have certain situations, and they are all based on psychology. So the child doesn't have to know anything about current affairs here. Here, you're just seeing his expression and fluency of speaking. So he's given an odd situation, like there's a child in your class who has come from a Hindi medium school and he's a very good learner. What do you think the class, as a class, you can do? So the child will come up with solutions. That's problem solving.
Okay, Rukmini ma'am, there's one more question from
Yes.
Abdul Karim Ansari, and he says that how can we bring accuracy to the content we teach, and the students do the questions on the synonyms of words which are used as value points in answer, what they respond. So can you throw some light on it, please?
See, golden book is the answer to it, I would say. Once you have a golden book, you will not have a problem in understanding and relating to the chapter. As an HE, you and I, we all have done corrections and we know that CBSE is very child-friendly. And we are capable to recognize synonyms, right? So if the child has written a synonym, it would be accepted.
Okay.
And I have, because the webinar would have become very lengthy, I did not put the marking scheme. Marking scheme was for 17 pages. So it has been looked into that the probability, this answer, that answer, and why marks should be given to the child. So it's child friendly.
All
Let
right.
us not panic. Let us not be under any pressure. Our subject is a beautiful subject, and it's the mother subject. If a child knows to express in English, he can express understand mathematical problems. He can justify the questions asked in science or narrate what has happened in the past. So we equip him with the best subject, and of course the personality. Look at all the language teachers. They are the best in the school, Sumati, isn't
Oh,
it?
really? Oh, ma'am, science teachers are equally good. Biology people are also. They are equally good.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree. Ma'am, there's one more question. They say that if you could give them some activities, some suggested activities, some good activities, if you could suggest to English teachers.
Yes. See, I had done this very good workshop at BCL early in life. And there I had learned few activities which have been always very fruitful whenever I take it up in my class. One is ask children to bring anything stuck on a sheet. So you have random photographs, some are scenes, some are people, some are something else, and you shuffle them and create a group of 10 and give it to a group and let them build a story and let them sequence it as they wish. These things, children give up their inhibitions and they start talking. These activities help in spoken English, right? That's one. Secondly, advertisements are good learning source. So when you show them, if your school has given you internet and you show them advertisements, ask them to analyze what they saw, what they heard, what they learned, what are they promoting. So these things also help the child to give up on his shyness and begin to spoken English improves. Written English improves because he's thinking, parallel thinking, abstract thinking, which you will see only in children with high order thinking. Very much required. Sharpen their analysis.
True. This is not a question, but a suggestion which I can see on my screen, that they say that some similar kind of workshop they would be looking forward regarding project work in English. So
I'd love to do that. I would love to do that. Mahesh sir, we can have one on ALS. That is the project work. It is available online. For the time being, you can look up on YouTube channels.
Yeah, ma'am, I will try.
Yes, we can do one on ALS and make it understood by all the teachers how to go about it. For us also, it was new last year, and we had attended some CBSE workshops and we learned through them. And now we are comfortable with the.
Okay, thank you so much, Rukmini ma'am. I cannot see any more questions. So I think it's all done. It's all clear. Thank you, Anjana ma'am. I can see you on camera, and Iksha ma'am. It was wonderful to have you constantly listening to Rukmini.
And smiling. Anjana has been very encouraging.
Yes.
दोनों ही मैम ने हमारी बुक्स के लिए बहुत अच्छा काम किया है. दोनों ही मैम ने गोल्डन में काफी सहयोग दिया है और दोनों ही मैम का पब्लिकेशन थैंक्स करता है.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I would like to say something, if you allow.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, please say.
This entire session has been quite wonderful, especially now listening to Rukmini ma'am and the way she has conducted. She has begun the thing. Now, Sumati miss, it was marvelous. I hope that all the participants must have been benefited by the ideas, no, the way, detailed way she has explained each and everything. I do not think that any query might have been left. Rather, all the teachers, those who have joined us from every nook and corner, they must be looking forward for more such workshops. Rather, personally, I would like to say a special thanks to Rukmini Miss. She reminded me of my mentor, you see.
Sweet,
I
so
really
sweet.
appreciate her way of telling all the things that it had been done. A special thanks to, I do not know personally Soumya sir, but yeah, thanks to Soumya sir, Mahesh sir especially, and once again Sumati Miss, Iksha ma'am, and yes, you. Today's, for me, today's the star of Rukmini Rai Miss. Miss, it has been a wonderful thing. Yes, of course, along with other participants, even I also would be looking forward, like if such kind of the more workshops can be conducted, so that, because see, we are the people, those who are, means we are blessed with too many things, you see, but there have been the schools now in quite remote area where teachers have been looking for such kind of the positive ideas and even the study material. Means like when I do think about them, definitely it is going to help them. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I wish
I'm blessed
all,
to have this opportunity actually.
yeah,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Wish you
Thank
all
you.
a wonderful day ahead. Enjoy your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
once
you, ma'am.
again, all of you.
Okay,
Namaste.
thank
Evening,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good
Thank you,
evening,
Mahesh
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
अपना इंडिया गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना पढ़ाई हो जो करनी जरा भी ना घबराना गोल्डन बुक्स को अपनाना अपना इंडिया गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना कक्षा विषय कोई हो आसान समझ पाना गोल्डन ही तो है सफलता का पैमाना गोल्डन ही ला रहा है चेहरे पे मुस्कुराना मैं गोल्डन का दीवाना अपना इंडिया बुक्स का दीवाना गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना गोल्डन बुक्स का दीवाना
Golden presents the best-selling reference books for English Core for classes 11th and 12th. Main features of Golden Books are: all the books are based on latest NCERT textbooks and are as per the latest syllabus of CBSE. Important points have been given for each chapter for quick revision. Solution of all the NCERT textual exercises are given. Other important questions for practice and examinations are also given in a very simple language. Objective type question bank is given, which include MCQs with answers. The Golden Books suit all the pockets and are a boon for the weak, mediocre and intelligent students alike. Buy Golden Books for your golden future.